All right, well, our next guest's parents were murdered when he was 14, and then his brother died of a heroin overdose. But somehow he was able to forgive his parents' murder and have compassion for his brother. How? Because he truly believes in the power of love. Yes, we welcome to the show the author of Big Love, Scott Stabile. So good to have you.
Oh, thank you. So good to be here.
Yes. Let's kick it off with your book, because that was quite the introduction of how much your life, how much has happened in your life, and then to end it all and still have so much love. What drove you to write this?
What drove me to write it? I mean, I'm a big fan of love. You know, I believe that at the end of the day, love is the base note for everything good in our world, like kindness, like compassion, like empathy, like so much of what we're not seeing in our country and in the dialogues that we're having. And I've found in my life over and over and over again that when I return to that place, that centered place of love inside of myself, that everything I have to offer is pure and positive and serves me and everyone I'm around. So it's not always easy. I mean, love, I think when we hear about love, we think it's very airy-fairy and ooey-gooey, but in my experience, love is often the harder choice to make. You know, when people are writing things on Facebook or on social media that anger you or frustrate you or disgust you, whatever it is, it's very easy to respond with the same kind of vitriol, you know, but love invites us to make a very different choice. You know, love invites us to try to view that person through an empathetic heart and see their humanity. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it totally changes how we engage with people when we can remember that they're also human beings, just struggling like all of us to make sense of this unpredictable world, really.
I feel like with social media, we can hide behind that mask a little bit and be unkind because it lets you be. How do you teach people love and how to be kind?
You know, I encourage people to really imagine what it's like to walk in another person's shoes. You know, that's empathy, you know, and the more often I've been able to show up for these kinds of conversations with empathy in my heart, I found it's impossible to show up with hatred at the same time. You know, empathy asks us to remember the person's humanity. What might their life experience have been to get them to the point where they are now, to say and do whatever it is they're saying. And that doesn't mean we have to condone it or agree with it. It doesn't mean we can't also be really clear about what we need to say in the world, but we don't have to attack people. You know, we don't have to forget their humanity. We don't have to rage against one another like we're doing now. And I've just found that, you know, love makes noise, though. Love isn't silent in the face of injustice. You know, it's loud and it's bold and it's clear, but with compassion. You know, it's also it brings to our anger something richer. Anger is a beautiful catalyst, but love directs our anger in a way that actually creates healing that lasts and matters, in my experience. You know,
I have to mention from the book, self-love is a big part of the book as well, and I love what you wrote about underwear, because it's a very simple little tip, but you had your underwear writing up or something to that extent and said, why am I even putting myself through that on a daily basis? I should be wearing underwear that's comfortable. And it was a simple little thing, but it went back to self-love.
Absolutely. I mean, I was writing, and I was sitting there, and for 2 hours I'm writing, and the whole time I'm like shifting. You know, we've all been there. We all know what it's like to wear uncomfortable. Shifting and pulling, and I'm thinking, I hate these underwear. They're terrible. And then it's like the light bulb went off. Well, you don't have to wear this pair of underwear. Like, take them off your body now. And it sounds like such a simple thing, and yet anytime I talk about this, so many people have written me about this chapter. They're like, I went through my underwear drawer and got rid of them, because we all know what it's like. And I really believe that these little tweaks, they matter. Because anytime we're operating in a way that is not aligned with our well-being, like being uncomfortable in our underwear or clothing, we're basically saying that we don't matter enough to ourselves to take care of ourselves in this way. And conversely, anytime we do things that serve our well-being, you know, that speak to our love for ourselves, we are serving ourselves in a positive way. And those little tweaks, they go a long way, and they start to build the self-care habit. You know, self-care is getting a lot of attention in the world today, and a lot of people are focused on it, and I think it's a really positive thing, because everything starts with self-love, and that's all that self-care is. And the more you give to yourself, I think the more that we have to give to other people in general. You know, so throw out your nasty underwear. If they're riding up, get rid of them.
Love it. Scott, your energy is infectious. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karen.
We'll have more information about Scott and his book, which again is Big Love, on our website at KATU.com. All right.